Okay, this is the last question on the mock exam. It is Oceans on the Edge. And again, it's a data response question. So what we're looking to do is see what the data shows us. Figure 7 shows the total area of marine reserves in the UK waters 1980 to 2010. And the question says, describe the change in total area of marine reserves between 2000 and 2010. Well, as you can see here, the graph actually goes from 1980 all the way through to 2010. And the only bit that we're interested in is the bit between 2000 and 2010, which is this bit here. So what we probably want to do is read across and see how big it was at 2010, how many marine reserves there were there, and we can see it's about 1.5 million square kilometres. If we go to 2010, you can see it's right up there at 5 million square kilometres. So the change has been a 3.5 million square kilometre change in the amount of marine reserves. They've gone up hugely. To get the 2 marks, you need to write some data, you need to talk about the change and probably the dates that it happened between, but 3.5 a million square kilometres is the key. Second one is the food web question. So define the word food web. Here you're looking at something a little bit more complex than just a chain of animals that eat each other. You're actually looking for a complex interactional relationship between animals. To get the 2 marks, you could talk about the flow of energy or the trophic levels and the transfer of energy as you go from the producers and the basic organisms all the way up to the primary predators, the top of the food chain. It's the relationships and the energy flow that's important there. Okay, next question. Examine how human activities affect the global distribution of either coral reefs or mangrove swamps. Now, most of you will have done coral reefs because we studied the Great Barrier Reef, but this is a tricky question because it's saying how has human activities affected the global distribution. Now, overwhelmingly, this is going to be negative, but there's also some positives that the humans are doing. So we'll start with the negative. Firstly, we've got climate change, we've got the change in temperature of the water and the salinity of the water, the salt content of the water. Both of those are causing bleaching and death to the organisms which live, the polyps and the corals, and also that then affects the biodiversity on the coral, and we see that being reduced as well. Secondly, we've got pollution, so the agriculture in rural regions running off the phosphates and nitrates going into the water, causing algae blooms, again affecting the delicate balance there, causing a loss of species, eutrophication, also the deoxygenation of the water. Further to pollution, we've got things like petrochemical pollution with boats, with industry near the sea and the delicate reefs. Again, very susceptible to harm. Anything to do with pollution in there would be a valid comment. You've then got things like the physical damage to it. You've got the removal of the coral by anchoring on it, by actually physical dragging of boats over the coral. And you've got things like overfishing and the creation of ports where they actually have to break the coral to get boats in. So all of those things are having seriously negative impacts on the coral reef and a change in their distribution and the actual quantity of them. However, on the positive side, we can talk about the development of global initiatives such as Ramsar, which is for the protection of wetland habitats worldwide. That's reefs, swamps, estuaries, mangroves, all those kind of things. And we've got, I think, 168 countries signed up to that. You could talk about national parks and marine reserves, and you could talk about some of the conservation projects going on where they're looking to encourage ecotourism and education alongside that tourism. So lots to talk about there, but it's a difficult question to unpick. And again, it shows the importance of decoding the question before attempting to answer it.